To Mama's Movement, a movement for Mother Earth where we recognize these times of climate and cultural crisis and speak to live guests on current actions dedicated to inspiration and ecological justice for a more sustainable future. These conversations explore the why and how of protecting the last remaining 2% of the ancient forests in British Columbia within Pacheedaht Territory, Fairy Creek. We look to elders, Indigenous wisdom keepers, storytellers, and forest defenders who might just invite the memories of our ecological embodiment to rouse awake. How do we create harmony with the land and our lifestyles, and why should we? How are we leaving the natural world to our children? We're your hosts, Asha and Paula, welcoming you to join us as we walk our way towards the revolution of equity and equality within the circle of life. And now, we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. Hey.
Rainbow Eyes. So excited to share this conversation with you as our second conversation because it felt so beautiful and rich the first time, and there's more to speak about. So thank you for being back with us.
Thank you for inviting me and having me. And I thought because this is Mama's Movement, we're home. We just got home yesterday and we decorated the tree, and this is my mama right here. Amazing. Her name is Liz.
Hello, Liz. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
So grateful to have you join us, Liz.
Yeah, I just wanted to introduce her and say that, you know, everything that I do and, you know, I'm really influenced by my parents. My parents have been a really big part of my life and a big support. And I feel like that, you know, so much of what I do and what I'm able to do is because my parents love and support me so much. So I just wanted to have my mama on here and say to all the mamas out there, you know, like you're so important. You know, it's the moms, the matriarchs, and the women in the world that really are gonna bring us to the Rainbow Nation and bring us where we need to go, because it's that loving heart that feeds the soul. So it's so important. So that's why I wanted to have my mom. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Such an honor to have her with us. Yeah. And you're home and in your village, and it also feels so beautiful to get to feel you there. And I would love to invite you to speak to where you are and to lift a prayer to open this conversation in whatever way feels true in your heart.
Yeah, thank you, Asha. Yeah, we are calling from our traditional village of Tsaze Snoqualmie on Harbledown Island. We're a member of the Danakdao Awitlala First Nation, and our traditional territory is Night Inlet. So we're gonna open the call in a place where people came before us, and we're always connected to the land, and going forward we always have that connection. It's like rooted in us. So may all of us be rooted with our ancestors on this call, and may they guide us and give us as much love as our mamas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Christine, hi Christine.
Yeah.
It's Christine. Without me, then
Yeah, welcome to all our viewers and everyone joining for the call today, and everyone who catches this live stream on another day. Welcome, and thank you for stepping in and getting involved.
Yeah. So moving into the conversation, that we feel really excited about the Yeah, we feel really excited to ask you about the Dzunukwa Society that you've just founded, and would love to hear more about it. Like, the first question being, like, who's in this organization with you, and what values brought you together?
Yeah, so I can share about that and say the Dzunukwa Society was kind of a natural evolution for us. We started it with Shauna, Bush Pig, and we're so grateful that she wanted to. She wanted to do it with us because Shauna was really, I don't know, for me, she was the warrior up there. She's amazing, and I love her so much, and I know her and Glenn. I mean, we're our family. If you spent time at Fairy Creek, you became a family, and so that's what happened with us. And as well, we were with Joshua, and he did so much at Fairy Creek for Fairy Creek. So, and I met him early on last summer, and he just really, really stuck out as someone that was, genius at what he did. He rides on a different level. And I know that when people are like that, I don't know, the beautiful thing about Fairy Creek is we all learn how to work together and just understand that we're all different and unique. And I fell in love with Josh. And I know that there's been a lot of, people feel different ways about people. But I just want to say that Josh has always been such a solid for doing maps, doing the work, caring for the trees, caring for Mother Nature. And, he's like a brother. So we're so happy that he's with us as well. And then we have a beautiful, beautiful group supporting, helping build the website. And of course, Glenn. Glenn is like the fire under. And I love to say that he has the intuition of where we need to go. And he kind of guides because he doesn't stop. He just keeps going. And he just finds the avenue. He flows like water. So if there's an opportunity, Glenn is going to find it, like flow into the crack, and he's going to find it, and he's going to do it. And, he's gotten us so many places because he just goes and flows. And yeah, it's kind of like such a beautiful dream team. We're all so grateful to be working together, and it wouldn't have happened if everybody wasn't doing it together. So yeah, it's great. Just like Fairy Creek, we all found our place, and this is just kind of like the next evolution of it all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed on the website you also have Grandma Osa helping along with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Grandma Losa has been such a big grandmother. She's just been the biggest grandmother. And I'll just say that I mentioned who's on like the official board of directors. So like that's why I talked about me and Shauna, and I just want to honor Grandma Losa for everything that she's done. And of course she's on the site because she's one of the matriarchs, and she guides us and she gives us advice. So and she has so much experience, and she just knows people, and she's always helping. Like right now with my court case, yeah, it's a big story about with my court case, but it just went to the next level because we just found out the Attorney General of Canada is coming into the case. And the last time in court, we had 5 Crown prosecutors, and they were all there to ensure that the law was upheld and that our Indigenous law argument they find every crack in it. So they've brought out the big wigs to come and make sure that the Indigenous law doesn't come out. But I mean, they're bringing out the big wigs because they're worried about it. And Grandma Losa has been helping with that, and she found a lawyer, an Indigenous lawyer specialist that she's hooking me up with. So that's what she does. She helps out, and we're just so grateful for her support all the time.
Oh,
amazing. Yeah, the elders or matriarchs are the pillars. So it's so beautiful to hear that she's guiding that process and holding you all. And
yeah.
I'm curious to ask, what does Dzunukwa mean?
Yes, thank you. Dzunukwa is she is the wild woman of the woods. So she's very important in First Nations culture and in the potlatch. So she's often depicted on totem poles. So she has a dance in the potlatch, and she's black, and she's covered with fur, and the story that goes with her, she's classic. It's like a classic international story. Wild woman in the woods, and the children are warned not to travel too far from home, or the Dzunukwa will come and snatch the children, take them into the forest, and eat them, are some of the stories. But there's also stories that she's taking the children into the forest to teach them. So she'll take them and she'll teach them. So, and that's the story that I like to go by. Yeah. And she's on the totem poles with her arms open. She's always on totem poles for those who have passed. So if there's a memorial totem pole for someone, the Dzunukwa will be on it, and she welcomes those to the other side. So that's also a big part of who she is. Yeah, so we thought that was very fitting that we were called our society the Dzunukwa Society, the Wild Woman of the Woods.
I love that. Yeah, what a powerful guide and teacher and holder. And
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, she seems fierce.
Yeah, she seems so fierce, and I can see you picking it because from when I read like the purpose and the goals of the organization, a lot of things that you've like stepped into already in this conversation a bit, like even dealing with things inside of court, like it sounds like your society, as much as like, again, there's the board of directors and you have the whole community holding behind you, even with the elders, like at the pillars on the, like not on the top, but the elders' wisdom holding you through as you walk through in like the linear, you know, I've got to work all this, I don't know, law and statistics. I don't know what to say there. But what I'm trying to get at is like, even in the courts, you're talking about like colonial law coming in and trying to keep its stance, like keep its stance in the way that money must persevere. And that's how like the economy must run. But what I see your organization bringing in is learning how to work together as a community, as a team. And that means industry. And that also means those Indigenous communities and the activists that are all standing up for the change in the times. And what I want to ask about that is like the goals and the values that sit inside of that. Because what I find is inside when I read the goals was it was a lot about education. And so I wondered if you could further what that education means as coming from the standpoint with your Indigenous wisdom.
Yeah, that's a big part. I know with our goals, we want to condense them because it is a lot, but and education is so many of our goals. Because a big part, I think, of what we want to do is help, or is to learn from others as well. You know, like we want to learn from elders, but also bringing education to anybody who is open to it. Anybody who wants to share knowledge or exchange knowledge is like a big thing, especially with what we've learned at Fairy Creek. You know, we want to spread that sense of community and that organization, and really help all communities across Turtle Island and beyond, and connect with people beyond. Like South America is my dream, to connect with the people in South America and learn their teachings. And I feel like sharing knowledge is a big part. I mean, even with the Dzunukwa, it said that one side she ate the children, which we could eat the RCMP officers and Serg, so that's part of us as a wild woman. But we would also teach people, and teach the knowledge that we have had, because we're openly trying to learn from elders and each other.
Absolutely. Because I can see that as part of your goal, like working together with industry is part of your goals, like as in part of that education. So it's funny when you say like the wild woman of the woods is eating them up. It's like you can eat up, like you're digesting, and like I'm giving back, like releasing back into the earth, and what is going to grow from that is new beginning. Yes. I really hear that when you talk about that. So like it's like
transformational,
right? Like that's what I hear you using this as. Like she's a transformational spirit that you're holding your society a part of as you work with like creating that balance again for the equality of the earth, so that humans can learn we're kind of taking too much, like we're going too fast. How do we really want to support our society to grow? Is it that we need this money, or do we need nature to flourish so we can all live? And how do we find that balance together, right? Like, what was it? Number 11 of your goals is to create a pause in industrial activity. And that's a very strong statement, but I wonder if you can further in that, like why you would pick such a comment like that, to a pause in industrial activity, allowing constructive conversations between industry and public activists and First Nations community to happen. Like, I wonder.
I guess for myself, I would say that's the place where a conversation happens and learning happens, and we can break into a hard shell. If we can pause it for a little bit, there's an opportunity to get in and change it, I think. I mean, and even with like the 2-year deferral, I mean, in that time frame, there's a lot of opportunity as well to, if we're able to halt for a little bit, there's time to raise more awareness and, talk to people. So any opportunity to halt industry, whatever whatever way that may be, it's definitely an opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. I feel there's more possibility for a pause, I think, to be received on the industry's end as well. So that feels like I have faith in that action, and yeah, to have more time to continue to educate and spread the word, like absolutely. And I love feeling your perseverance in that, and the loyalty to this mission that you're carrying and bringing through. And I'm curious more about the education, like what kind of platforms, or are you planning on traveling around in that way? Or have you done anything so far? Or can you speak to anything of like next phase on that?
I'll just also share, Shauna is a big part of these goals. So she's currently right now doing guardian training, Indigenous studies. So that's the heart of these goals right now, where she is. So it would be great to talk to her as well, to get her ideas. But sorry, Asha, what was your question?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. We'd love to keep weaving these conversations with many voices, and are super excited to keep amplifying. Yeah, just around the education that you're naming as one of the goals of your organization, and just
Right.
curious,
Mhm.
yeah, how that's blooming, like where people could find you. Is it in person? Is it like online? Yeah, would you speak to more about how that's looking?
Yeah. Please find us online, Dzunukwa. I always had a vision of like so many of our friends, sisters, just being Dzunukwas with us. Like, and it would be like this like society and grouping of Dzunukwas, because we've met incredible women. And that's what, when I talk about the society and the starting, I was like, you're a Dzunukwa. Let you do the work. And even if you don't do this, if you work in the healthcare field, but you're a frontline worker, you're a Dzunukwa. And we should be able to help anybody who wants to further what they're doing, to help, just to help. I know, like, for example, flip-flops. She's going to start doing work in Haida Gwaii. That's her interest. She wants to go home and she wants to help. She's a Dzunukwa. We want to help fund her, like do her work to help protect Haida Gwaii. If anybody that we know wants to become a guardian, like a land-based guardian, we want to help pay for your training. Or anything else related to land-based, or anything that's related to protecting Mother Earth. We want to be able to help you. And that's the goal. It's just like anybody that's kind of doing what we're doing and can connect to saving Mother Earth, the trees, the water, Yinta, anything. We want to support, and we want to build a web of support.
So beautiful. Oh, yes. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it feels so welcoming and inviting, and to bring in the wild women. It feels like such a powerful movement that's happening right now, with women waking up to that remembrance within themselves, and something that women of all nations, the Rainbow Nation, really coming online to remember that wild connection to nature that we all have within us. So I love hearing that you're wanting to support that within your society.
Yeah. We also want to go into communities. So there's communities North Vancouver Island who have reached out because they're concerned about logging in their territories. So like, we personally know people that have reached out to us because logging is happening where they are on their nations. So our idea was that we would be able to go as a group and just talk to people in the communities who are interested, and just talk to them and give them support, and be like, we are here for you. Like, let us know what do you want to set up? What do you want to learn? Because we want to help nations. We don't want them to feel alone if there's cutting in their territories and they don't want it. So we want to go support the people as well.
Yes. Oh, I can just imagine that, the numbers, to be able to like call and then request that kind of help, because it's happening all over. So,
it is. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, yeah, I mean, not amazing that it's happening, but amazing that they can get involved with you, and given this link here.
Yeah, it's on the screen. You're really creating a web, like not only from what you've sound like you've learned together, that you still continue to learn together and grow together, to still create, to call for balance for Mama Earth at this time when we're in a code red emergency. Like, these are really striking times. I hear Christine mentioned that there's a recession. Like, we're up against a lot with the idea that this is a recession right now. So colonialism wants to hold its grips between the difference when people are standing up and rising up, calling back for Mother Earth and saying she's the one that takes care of us. She's the one that right now that we need. So your interweb, if the more that, I wonder if you could put the fundraiser link up too, Asha.
Yeah.
Because like the fundraiser link's another piece that people can jump in and support your organization and send money so that this amazing society that you've created can not only help your actions personally as individual Indigenous land stewards, and also settler allies and everybody that's involved in the society, but also that web that you're talking about, helping others, even Flip-Flops. Oh, Flip-Flops was up at the blockade for like day in, day out. Oh, I love working alongside that woman and singing her spirit song from Haida, learning it and singing it with her, and all the songs that we shared up there, and that fire that grew in all of us when we were interconnected with nature. I love that. So just connecting with so many that are trying to do this work in so many areas, because it's rampant right now. I love that one of your society goals is actually to rewild the city, like the education that these land guardians, the people that you're talking to, could come to you, and those who want to help inside of cities to help us get back in touch with nature. That's like one of your goals too. So that's a really neat goal that you have in the Dzunukwa Society as well.
Yeah, we want to rewild. We like that. We were debating on that term as well. We're like, do we want to say that, rewilding? We weren't sure, so there was like debate, but then we ended up keeping it, because it's like it's a natural wilding. It's getting out of this. It's just like this inner wilding. It's this inner connection that we find.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, how could we live our daily lives in societies that have built that the way that they've built? But again, where do we find out a balance and get all those anxieties, right? Like, we need that be in touch with our inner selves and connecting to nature again, right? So I'm glad that you guys walked with that word, even though it could be scary for some, I'm sure, but it is a powerful regrowing and a relearning. Remembering,
I'll also add to Christine, thank you for putting it up. We're also really getting involved with Toki Te, the orca who was stolen over 50 years ago from our Coast Salish waters, and she's been held in Miami or Florida, I believe Miami, for the past 50 years. So we got involved with Toki Te through Saucy Minx, and we really want to be a voice for her, and we're gonna talk about her. We're heading to COP15 next week to be a part of it with the Dzunukwa Society, and we're gonna raise awareness. I know our brother Chiokten he's been involved with Toki Te for years, trying to release her. So you can find it on like Save Toki Te, or Save Toki, TOK.
I think, it's Susan, Saucy Minx is on, and she just wrote TOKI.
Yeah, there we go, Saucy. We got it. Toki works. Free Toki. Free Toki. Yeah, that's it.
That's the website, freetoki.com.
Toki Te, there it is, Toki Te. So you'll be able to find it. And they have a really good Facebook page too, where you can get involved. And the people organizing it are so beautiful. I was on a call with them, and they've been working for years to try to save her, and it's getting close, and they're getting close.
Good. Oh my God.
So
wisdom keepers, those orcas.
Yep.
I'm so glad to hear that this movement is creating ripples in the water and the land, and all these elements that are needed right now.
Yeah, and I would say it's all connected. It's all connected. Yeah. There's a reason why it's all happening at the same time. Why, like our stolen sister Toki, as Saucy calls her often, is coming home now. She's finally coming home. So hopefully, and she will. There's a lot of Indigenous voices that are going to go talk in December on the 13th to talk to the scientists and convince them that just a sacred being should not be kept in a pen that's just too small for her.
Yeah, I thought we were past that culturally. So
They self-harm, and they do a lot. They go through a lot of pain, and it shows up in their actions, like their self-harming natures. Like when they, just like I guess a human, like if we get really deep and dark, we can self-harm too. They do it too. It shows they're sentient beings just by that as well, that they do go through a lot of trauma. So thank you, Saucy Minx, for putting up in the chat. She actually has friendsoftoki.org. So that is the website. So it's up there as well for our viewers. You can check it out from that direct link. Thank you, Saucy.
She's great. Yeah, and she said her mother's still out. So her mother is the matriarch of Alpod out here. So hopefully when she's released, they'll be reunited again.
And so what I'm hearing, like from the organization, from the society, like as much as there's a lot of focus on the trees, you're not just focused on the trees. You're focused on environmental like stability and all the fields that it may lie, like in industries, problems, and different. It's open to different. Yeah.
It would be like this. Tokite came across our path through Saucy, and it's just natural. The mahinu is what the word for blackfish in Kwakwala. So, and it's on our family totem pole. So it's one of our family crests, and we're really connected to it. Our family, and I'm from the Glendale family of the Dzunukwas, and just historically, even when I think our great grandfather passed away, the Orca came and showed their support, and just they came into our bay when he passed away.
Wow.
So they're really, really special animals, beings to our people as well. So they came, Tokite came to us for a reason, but in talking to a grandmother from South America, she did remind us, she said, keep the trees to the center of everything you do. So our focus will be trees, like it just, because it has to be for like humanity. We have to bring the trees back into the center of everything we do. And I think it will begin to change the way we all live our lives. It's a cultural thing. Elder Bill always said that the trees are our culture. And it's my favorite thing to say that he said, because they are our culture. So when other natural things that we can help with, like Tokite, come across our table, I'm sure with other things as well with the Dzunukwa Society will help. But we find it so important to keep trees at the center, because they must be at the center of everything we do. We must lift them up, and somehow one day sooner than we think, show industry how important they are to living healthily and for the next 7 generations as well.
Yeah, so beautifully said. I love that so much. The trees are at the center. And I'm reminded in my Nordic lineage, like that world tree in our center, that energy center, literally there's this, that symbol of the tree of life. And it's within us and it's all around us. And I can just echo that importance that I feel for them as well. And it has me wondering, because the people that are cutting them down, or the people that have decided they are at the center in the way of building stuff, and taking them, like there's a mentality that needs to shift, and it has to do with feeling. Like I wonder about how to shift that orientation of centering them with honor and reverence, and feeling their importance, because it's like a magnitude of majesty going out and being with them that's really unexplainable. It's hard to put into words.
So like we've been told, we talked about this last time, like we can't convince people, or we was talking with Saucy about this, we can't convince people who aren't ready. And it's such a big so much energy could be put into convincing people who aren't ready, but it's not something that we can make, like, try to force people who aren't ready to see the way that we see. So what we're doing is we've actually had a meeting with Mosaic. We've had a phone call with them, with Mosaic Forest Management. So it's one of the biggest ones on Vancouver Island.
Amazing.
So we've had a phone call with them, and they had an Indigenous representative with them. So it was a really interesting phone call because it's industry, and they agreed to have a call with us. And the other guy on the phone was a president. And they would say anything to us, but they have heart and you can see it. So it was a Zoom call, we could see their faces. And these guys have real heart, so they're open to it. And Eli, the Indigenous representative, said to, I hope I didn't just say his name. I didn't say his name. He said to the president, he's like, well, you have a lot to work with because you are trying to work through what the past generations have done. So it was a comment that was, I don't know, it's just a really interesting comment that he was talking to the president, like, the past presidents have done a lot, they've to set the way that the industry runs today. And this current president has to work within that, but they're not, it didn't sound like they were completely, like, uncaring, old school, like, just plow through everything. They were there to listen to us. So the conversation was very open. So I think that's how we do it. Like, we have conversations with people who are open and see where it goes. And we have a dinner planned, because at the end of that call, I was like, well, let's have dinner together. Let's eat food, because that's a very traditional way to build bridges and just to connect with people, is to have meals together. So the next thing is we're going to have a meal with Mosaic and some other Indigenous people involved with Mosaic. So
yes. Oh.
Yeah, so I guess we go where we're able, and where we're able to flow, not up against walls. We wouldn't go up to loggers of Teal Jones and ask them for a meal. It's just, that wouldn't work. But this one, it's flowing, so we're going.
So inspiring to my heart to hear that. Yeah. Yes. So just listening to that call of where to keep having conversations, being in that personal ability to make connections and appeal to each other's hearts is what I'm hearing in that you're doing, and that the pathway can be built, the bridge can be built. And then we're all up against a lot of these systematic structures, learning to figure out a way to deconstruct, deconssemble these colonized kind of ways of not hearing the land and taking too much. And I think a lot of people are waking up to wanting to change that. So it's beautiful to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's potent. It reminds me of the universal seed of, like, walking where it's open and knowing that every interconnection is going to create that light in all those different conversations, because who we meet and when we change them person to person, our hearts are meeting. They go off and they meet someone we never knew about. And then actually the universe interconnects it all together and at the end. So it's like, I don't know. I love when you were talking in this conversation too. It's like, you talked a little bit about, like, it could be speed is light. Like, we don't really know, but we all know what's happening right now as a code red emergency, how valuably important this is in our hearts. And I think sometimes hearing you is really inspiring to hear the work that's being done of the wisdom you carry in your organization, and working together with so much heart, like, sending so much love to the loggers, and knowing when to speak and when to just honor their voice too, and put your energy where it's needed, and trusting in the greater good. So I really
I'll just say that's how I felt about you two when I first met you two. I was like, what is this Mama's Movement? Like, you two are so amazing. It's such a beautiful organization. It was such a good meeting, and that's the heart of it. That's the heart. That's what we want to put into Dzunukwa as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll just also share like the ultimate vision, my own personal one. So what we want to start doing is we want to start buying pieces of land that have old growth and second growth before industry can cut it. So we eventually, hopefully, want to raise enough money, and it's a lot of money. But I feel like we can, because we're at a time where things are changing and people will want to invest in this kind of organization to save the planet. So we want to buy pieces of land and then save them and protect them. And I would love, so many people at Fairy Creek started to have dreams of living in tent cities. And so if we could start and create like communities in pieces of land that we bought all across Turtle Island, and just create communities, buy land for communities of people to learn and really go into the wild and learn how to live again. And it would just be scattered like wild woman camps, tent cities, like all over the place. Well, where we, like, as humanity as well, learn how to be wild and live in the forest again.
It's a beautiful vision, and thank you for sharing that.
Echoing
that
vision as well.
Me and Sassy talked about this lots.
Amazing. Yeah, she's commenting and grateful for those pieces.
You can get to the fundraiser link through the actual website link as well, but I wonder, can you put the fundraiser link up there too?
I can. It's just a lot of I can, here, I'll get it back. It's a lot of just different kind of code words. So can you follow your website to get to it though?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Cool. It'd be so great.
Yeah.
I can see the donations are already coming in, and may there be more and more and more for the goodness of this heart movement that you're working with.
Yes, echoing that. Like, absolutely. People, I believe, I have so much faith that people are becoming more aware that those next steps are to, especially ones that have wealth, to be in that philanthropist heart and support movements that are really for the betterment of all of us. And I really see that in what you're doing here, and the dream of communities coming together deeply in service to the land like that. Like, absolutely, that's a beautiful vision and prayer. And we hold that as well in what we're anchoring in, and in Mama's movement, and continuing this journey with you and in deep allyship.
Awesome. I wonder, it's about 40, almost 45 minutes in. I'm wondering if there are any questions that are going to come from the audience that's watching right now. If you guys have any questions that you want us to ask, you can put it up in the live chat. And you can ask any of those. They're there. Pit houses. Somebody mentioned pit houses. And remember, Rainbow Eyes, can you educate us on what pit houses are that Christine has mentioned?
I just learned about them a little bit, but they have them. We've been to some in the interior by the Slocan Valley, and they're dug, so they're like big dugout houses. So they're into the ground a little bit more. And I believe that they had like built, I'm not sure exactly, but I know that they're built into the ground a little bit more.
Cool. Interesting. Thanks for that. I've never heard of it before, so it's good to keep learning and growing.
Yeah. I could also, so we're heading to COP next week.
Yeah.
So we're organizing for that, and we're really looking forward to doing exactly what you were saying, Asha. Thank you so much for your words. It was so beautiful to bring this to the world, into COP15, which is also full of industry selling themselves and trying to convince the world that they're okay. We want to go and just spread this message, and we have a big, beautiful surprise heading to COP with us, that will really show the world what's going on and what we're up against and what we're here to protect. So we're excited to share that too, soon. And I think it's out there already if you can dig around a little bit. So that's what we want to do. We want to go to COP, wake people up, and connect with people who are doing the same work. It's about connecting and just making friends and making a big racket as well. We want to make a ruckus as well. We want to cause a scene.
It feels good. It feels good. Sometimes that scene's necessary to stir the pot a bit. You gotta stir it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's like there's the thing about like being quiet and just like doing it, but I feel like once you really become a wild woman, you don't care. And like we will kind of want to make the old boys club uncomfortable. We want to make them nervous, and that's why we want to gather. And I love it. I just want to make a lot of noise, make a lot of industry uncomfortable, because I think that's what wild women are supposed to do. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Discomfort brings growth, right? Like sometimes comfort isn't what we always need. It's like the balance. It's the balance of life. We need comfort, but we also need that discomfort. And sometimes, again, when change is necessary and you like your comfort and you don't want to change, a little bit of ruckus can actually help move into shift to pay attention. Because it's that wall, right? Like I understand that you're not directly going up to anybody specifically. You're just putting it in a situation that's going to allow a little bit of a stir and a brightening to a cause that's very important as we stand in code red emergency.
Yeah, making sure that people can't keep like these denial blinders or numbing out or distracting, but like to stir enough to bring the light of awareness is what I see you're doing. And we have to feel it to heal it. So that discomfort is absolutely necessary for any alchemical process of waking up. So thank you so much for your work in going there and bringing it.
It's the Kali energy too. It's like it's totally the Kali energy is like the Dzunukwa energy too as well.
Absolutely.
Love it. Yes.
I love it so much. And before, I know we don't have very much time left, so I also just want to bring in a little bit. You brought in the courts before. Like we've talked a lot about those actions that you're going there, but also the courts. I'm finding like seeing it online, it's a really important place where people can still get to know other land guardians that are doing the work and come to court and support and meet the community. Can you talk a little bit more how the courts are going right now?
Yeah, the court. I wish there was another, I don't know. We want to share information more, because there's so much going on. I believe someone just went to jail last week. One of our forest defenders. And it's getting the information out is tricky. It's such a big job, but December 5th is going to be a big day in court in Nanaimo if you're around. So that's just next Monday. It's going to be a big day. There's going to be a lot of Fairy Creekers there. So if you're able to, there is a signal group if you're interested. If you're from Fairy Creek and you want to reach out, if you're able to, you want to donate to a really good cause, I would say contact Cookie, like Cookie, and you can donate money to her because she's constantly making food for people in court. So there's court and everybody goes to Cookies for lunch. And she makes it with women in Nanaimo now who help her do the lunch, but it's always at her house. So Cookie was the cook at Fairy Creek, and now Cookie is the cook for court support. So it's the new Cookie's house is. Oh, the cool thing also, Cookie's house number is 46, and TFL 46. So it's like, it's the new TFL is Cookie's house in Nanaimo.
Would you be willing to share a bit more information of how, like the time that people might be meeting, or any more information on how they could get connected to that Signal group that you mentioned, or anyone else?
You get in touch. I guess you can contact me or anybody that you know of Fairy Creek. I think it's pretty widely known how to get involved into the Signal group. So you can like reach out. And if you're able to just go to court on the 5th, because it is a big day, there's going to be lots of us, lots of people. And then we can connect to it in that way. I think after that, it's going to slow down. But yeah, people are still going to jail, you know, for this and being punished. Punishment is part of the process, is what Judge Thompson says, because it's the colonial system. But you can see they're nervous about it, about the changes that we could possibly make. So we are making a difference. And the more people that are able to go to court and show up, it's a powerful thing that, you know, it's making a difference.
Yeah, that feels like a beautiful action step that anyone that's wanting to get involved right away could have. A lot of us are on Vancouver Island or nearby there. Yeah, I'm curious to make that happen as well. Would you say like morning to arrive there, or afternoon?
It's usually 10. Okay. Except last week it started at 2. But I mean, if it's at 10, I'm sure there's people going to be hanging around. I would say 10 is the safe time.
Okay.
And it looks like Susan Saucy Minx is bringing in the Scout Webkick. Did I say that correct? The Say No to TMX. She's bringing in that there's a big court case going on with them as well. They're going to court on December 5th. For 2 weeks. It's the beginning of the court case for them as well. Saucy Mings, if you want to put those, well, I don't know if you can get that link up there that fast, and I can actually put it up onto the Mama's Movement page, and I can't get it that fast either, but the link to your GoFundMe as well. If you want to stick it up on this page right now, others can actually get involved with that as well, because there are many ways to help you guys in court. You've been fighting for a long time, all of you, so thank you to the Skeptic Nation and all the allies that have been walking with that path as well.
Yeah, Saucy's talked a lot about the Secwepemc 8, and they're powerful. They're trying to make the change. I think they're subpoenaing a couple important people in the community. And the unfortunate thing for them is their judge is not compassionate at all. They have a really colonial female judge, and it's difficult. So they've had a very hard time. So yeah, all support that could go out to them is amazing. But they got a powerful group, like with beautiful matriarchs. So yeah,
it's good to hear. It's good to hear. And I know I'll just rhyme it. I'm like, it's good to hear and have no fear, you know, like just keep moving forward, right? Like the strength and the courage and the compassion that all of you are holding, and also in that case, and Wet'suwet. And there's just so many places right now that you guys are all holding the work that's being done. You know, it's shaking us up, but it's making us stronger. So I really appreciate it, and thanks for acknowledging their strength and their wisdom that they hold. And yeah, I just want to acknowledge you too. Strength and your wisdom, Rainbow Eyes, for all you've been through and all you stand through, you know, day to day, you know, and your connection and your root to the cause. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big goal to connect with all the blockades, because there's so many people doing such amazing things. There's so many people making such amazing art to touch people's hearts, music. And that's the way that so many blockaders or activists, forest defenders have turned to, you know, making music and art to connect people after the trauma that they experienced at Fairy Creek, and like turning it into something positive and enlightening for people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so important, those relationships to support the integration aspects. It's really intense frontline work. And yeah, I just commend everybody that keeps going, and it's so inspiring to hear about and to see, and to be stoking this fire again as well, and meeting the others that are still doing it, and wanting to speak in that we're wanting to have a call for that kind of integration council where there can be more heart shares for whoever would like to join the call. It won't be live stream type call. It'll be more of like a way that we can hold each other and share just those layers of what it's like out there, and see if we can heal together. So there'll be more information on dates on that. So please get in touch with us if you'd like to be involved in that, and we can organize the dates around the people that are definitely wanting to be involved.
I'm going to put in one little piece of saucy thing. She said there's a plan afoot for their courthouse date. I know we're mixing a little bit of information flashing in and out, but I don't want to miss on the feed her saying this as well, of 100 women gathering of non-arrestable action, possibly outside the court trial. So thank you to that potency that you're visioning in and that you guys are working on to gather for that action itself. 100 women together at the courthouse.
Yeah. So this December 5th, Nanaimo, there's these correlating actions.
Yeah, same time.
That sounds incredible. Wow, I love that. Women coming together, so strong. Whew. Yes.
Yeah, there's
I didn't realize that.
A lot of power in those two moments at the same day happening in the courts together, because that's the web, and that's the invisible web that weaves us together. So that is some potent magic right there, just sitting in that. Just sorry. Anyway, blessed be to that.
We love it. That's creator time right there.
Yeah, that's
creator
it.
time happening.
That's good. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, amazing. Well, yeah, I feel this has been super rich to have you in another conversation. Rainboweyes, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the space. It's so great. And Kathy Code on, and she said, that's really good. Teal Cedar is now making moves to make the injunction, folks, take the injunction to trial, adding more defendants, and even trying to get conspiracy charges in there. Whoa. It's still an opportunity to make our voices heard. Oh, and to add to that, Teal Cedar is suing. They just have a new lawsuit out. They're suing Glenn and Shauna personally. So Glenn and Shauna have been added to a lawsuit against against Glenn and Shauna. So they're taking after them personally. They want to take their money personally.
Oh man.
This just happened this week as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Just trying all their little ways. Hey, that's not fair. That's not
Yeah.
fair.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's so crazy. It's so childish. It's so crazy.
It's you two. It's you two. You're the ones scaring everybody else. We're coming after all your money. Like, no.
Are you kidding me?
I know,
Like,
right?
it's so crazy. Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing in those truth of their tactics.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Exactly.
yeah. Again, many ways. Again, our voices up there at the courthouses to support you guys. Any ways that actions can come online. I mean, places where people can check out, like, to hear about that. I know there's the Fairy Creek Blockade page on Facebook. Things come up there, people to check out and look on. Angie Davidson, you have your Facebook page and your Instagram as well, where you're like, a lot of this information is coming in and out when you can get it up, for sure, because you're carrying a lot in all your actions, obviously what you're weaving with the Dzunukwa Society, but also through the courts. So those are two places that people can get in touch about more further information about what's happening, right? Yeah.
And again, there's that big action coming up in February.
Yes.
That we want to get thousands of people there. So if wherever you are, if you're thinking about coming to Vancouver Island, maybe you plan for like February. What's the date again, Paula?
It's February 25th.
25th? Yeah,
That's the
25th.
actual
It's a
date.
good day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great day
Yeah.
to come, to stand together and show them how many numbers there are of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to meet and greet everybody that's walking this path together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the interconnections that'll happen that day.
Yep. It'll be so beautiful.
That's where the potency can happen, where we can really do those kind of like synchronized meditations and activation prayers and weave our heart, plant our roots, and like ripple out that consciousness that we really want to hold and really see the change that's possible. So February 25th.
Yeah.
And there'll be more information throughout that on many of these links that we've shared here.
Absolutely. And I think we'll be talking a bit more. Actually, we're going to have Jackie from Elders for Ancient Trees come talk about that soon. Yeah. And next week, Teokden is going to be coming on and talking with us. We're so excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, talking about the different actions he's been a part of and different ways that he can share his wisdom with us and help the viewers along with understanding where they can, open up, guide, and learn and take action themselves.
Yeah. He has so much experience and knowledge, Teokden. It's just like so incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're super grateful to speak with him and hear his wisdom and connect even more to the why. You know, why are these trees important? What's the heart of it? I feel he really carries that wisdom through so well. Yeah, and as do you. Really, really grateful to hear your voice and your wisdom and feel your energy from your land of your people. It's really special to get to talk to you tonight. And
yeah, it was good. Thanks, Asha.
Yeah. Well, is there
any?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, blessed be. So grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you both for creating this space for all of us. It was really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, we're grateful to hold this space to help carry forth the wisdoms that are being shared. So thank you so much for coming and speaking with us.
Through the web.
And uplift.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in with us. And keeping the ripples going. We're doing this for you, and for the trees, and may it continue to ripple and blessed be.
Ila Kesla.
Thank you for your presence here with us. We invite you to join our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram channels for more of our videos, interviews, resources, and ways to get involved.